The HOA meeting ended with a shattered punch bowl, a toppled ficus tree, and a former Marine in a polo shirt swinging a yardstick like he was calling the ninth inning of suburban rage, all while the entire neighborhood watched from folding chairs clutching their cookies. I blocked his swing. He lunged at me, and somewhere between him yelling "seer fee," whatever that means, and accusing me of being out of compliance, the yardstick snapped clean across my forearm with a crack that honestly still rings in my ears if the room's too quiet. But let me back up a sec. Because nobody wakes up in the morning thinking today's the day I get in a stick fight at an HOA meeting. My name's Graham Voss. I'm 35. I write code for a living, and I moved to Willow Birch Estates to get away from drama. Seriously, the wildest thing I'd done lately was switch from regular coffee to decaf. And I was proud of that. I just wanted a quiet life, you know. Nice sidewalks, no late-night doorbells, lawns neat enough. Nobody judges you, and bylaws that were simple or so, I thought. Grass under 4 inches. No cars up on blocks. Don't paint your house like a traffic cone. That's about it. That held for exactly 3 weeks. Then came Sandra Withers, president of the HOA Bund, so tight it could cut glass blazers with shoulder pads that said "Try me" and a clipboard permanently attached to her hand like some kind of suburban Terminator. She shows up at my door one Tuesday with a digital camera swinging from her neck and a smile that stopped about a mile short of her eyes. "Your mailbox," she says, and I quote, "is an affront to community cohesion." My mailbox. Matte black, straight from the hardware store, same as 6 other houses. For a second, I thought she was joking. I actually laughed. Rookie mistake. She was not joking. After that, the citations came in faster than grocery store coupons, first for my inconsistent vibe fence, which I had to read 5 times to understand, then for my too contemplative lawn, yeah, try making sense of that, then for dangerously whimsical wind chimes. I started thinking maybe this was some kind of elaborate prank until I saw Sandra outside my yard at dawn, squinting through my fence slats, tape measure in hand, like a raccoon on a Fitbit. When I put up a motion-activated light to catch her early morning patrols, she said it was paparazzi adjacent. She started posting blurry shots of my recycling bin on Nextdoor as Graham hiding excess cardboard in the comments section turned into a conspiracy theorist's dream. Apparently someone thought I was running an illegal packaging business. Me. I just order a lot of books, you know what I mean? Next thing I know, I'm getting origami crane notes stuck in my mulch. "We see you, rule bender. Compliance is respect." I mean, it was like living in a horror movie written by someone whose peak drama was 8th grade. I tried being reasonable. Polite emails, calm voices at the HOA meeting. I even pointed out my mailbox was identical to half the street. That's when Sandra did what any rational adult would do. She wrote a brand new bylaw banning matte black mailboxes installed after January 1st, conveniently just after mine. The level of petty was actually impressive. But Sandra didn't stop there. She decided to escalate straight past petty into possibly needs therapy. She filed a nuisance report with the county claiming my tool shed was a commercial data center. I wish I was kidding. For the record, it's a craftsman with a mower, a rake, some Miracle Grow, and maybe an old softball. No servers, not even decent Wi-Fi out there. The county guy came by, took one look, and apologized for wasting my time. That should have been the end, but nope. Sandra took it to DEFCON 2. She emailed my boss, pretending to be a concerned neighbor, saying my refuge habits made me unreliable. My boss just forwarded it to me with a "Do you know this person?" subject line and a raised eyebrow in emoji form. And then cherry on top, she sent her husband Boyd. Retired gunnery sergeant, built like an upright freezer in cargo shorts and a faded USMC shirt. Jaw clenched so hard I swear his teeth must have been screaming. He cracked his knuckles and told me to settle things like men. I asked what that meant exactly. He just smiled, tapped his temple, and walked away. Honestly, I think he expected me to be terrified, but I'm a millennial man. I settle things with a lawyer and screenshots, which is exactly what I did. I filed for a restraining order and packed up every scrap of evidence I had. Camera footage of Sandra sneaking around my yard at 5:12 a.m. Nextdoor screenshots the original anonymous origami notes, still scented with lavender lotion, by the way, plus the county inspector's clean report, and best of all, a voicemail where Sandra in her own voice says if Graham won't comply, Boyd will handle it. My attorney actually laughed out loud listening to that one. He said it was the most clear-cut case he'd seen in 20 years. Mediation day comes, and the guy in charge looked like he'd refereed every neighbor-on-neighbor squabble since the invention of the white picket fence, is stone-faced, right up until I play the videos of Sandra measuring my grass, peeking at my hose and whispering "gotcha" over my mulch. By the time I played the voicemail, the mediator took off his glasses, cleaned them slow, and looked at Sandra like she'd just tried to sell him swampland in Nevada. He granted a temporary restraining order right there, warned Boyd that domestic deployment isn't a real legal thing, and told Sandra she'd be personally liable if they so much as sneezed in my direction. But you'd think this would be the end, right? Nah. People like Sandra treat defeat like a challenge. Next HOA meeting, she stands at the podium in a blazer that could double as riot gear and reads a whole speech about how I'm destroying community spirit, setting a dangerous precedent. The room's packed, every seat taken, punch bowl sweating in the back, cookies piled up on a wobbly table. Boyd shows up halfway through, tucked in polo, arms folded, staring at me like he's picking targets for laser tag. She finishes, flashes me a smirk, and I just stand up slow and pull out my copy of the restraining order. Read it. Every word. The only sound was somebody's phone buzzing under a seat. Then I walk to the podium, hook up my phone to the sound system, and hit play on that beautiful voicemail. Sandra's voice echoes through the whole rec center. If Graham won't comply, Boyd will handle it. There's an audible gasp. A neighbor in a cat sweater mutters, "Oh, honey, no." The HOA treasurer gets up and moves her chair 3 feet away from Sandra. But then, and this is where the twist comes in, the HOA's insurance rep stands up, straightens his tie, and calmly announces that Sandra's private vendetta has voided their liability coverage. Translation: if Boyd so much as glared at me, Sandra was paying every penny out of pocket. That's when Boyd loses it. He lunges for me, and look, the man's got speed for his age, but I'm holding a metal folding chair. And I am not above self-defense. He trips over the ficus, hits the refreshment table, punch bowl, explodes red sticky liquid everywhere, slips in it, tries to grab a yardstick and swings at me. I block it, snaps, crowd gasps, then starts clapping like we're at a Little League game. Boyd stands there drenched, breathing hard, holding half a yardstick like it's a battle trophy. The old guy from the back helps him up and shuffles him toward the door. Sandra just freezes, her notes scattered, face white as drywall. She resigns the next morning to focus on family, which according to the lawyer means ethics training and covering my legal fees. Final tally, $8,300 in fees, plus a $5,000 penalty. Boyd gets a 1-year ban from all common spaces and has to take anger management from a therapist who lives 2 doors down and waves at him every morning. Poetic justice, right? And that's how a matte black mailbox nearly sparked a suburban war, got me in a wrestling match with a yardstick-wielding Marine, and made me the unwitting star of a viral HOA cautionary tale. Some days I still walk past my mailbox, give it a pat, and think, is this what adulting is supposed to feel like? Tell me, was I right to fight back? Or should I have just swapped the mailbox and saved myself a few $1,000s in a shower and fruit punch? Drop your wildest HOA stories or opinions below. And hey, if you think justice tastes a little sweeter with a dash of drama, don't forget to subscribe and stick around. Who knows what'll happen at the next meeting?